Hi guys, Andy here from Billy's Hammock Camping. Right, today I'm going to show you how I'm going to modify my DD hammock so that the rain doesn't get into the body of the hammock. Last weekend I was out with some friends. We had a night out in the woods, hammock camping, and as I'm sure a lot of you are probably aware, the rain absolutely hammered it down. And one of the problems that Mark, one of my friends, found was that the rain had run down the side of the tree that he tied his hammock to, wicked down his hammock rope and wet the body of his hammock. Not so it was soaking wet, but it was enough. And with the length of time that the rain had been forecast for, he'd probably ended up waking up in the morning with a soaking wet hammock and sleeping bag. Now luckily he'd taken his bivvy bag with him, so it wasn't too much of a great problem. Mine wasn't affected too much because I was tied off on one of the same trees as him, but I did notice that I had got a little bit, and obviously if the rain had carried on, then it would have got even wetter. So I've decided to do the Karabiner mod to my Frontline hammock, and that's what I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it now. So I'll get all the gear together, I'll zoom in and try and do it so that you can get a good view of it. So stick with me guys, and we'll get on with that. Thanks very much. Okay guys, right, I'm going to try something different with this one, so hopefully you'll be able to see it better as I'm doing it. Because as such I haven't got a proper camcorder. I'm doing it via my camera, and I can't see whether I'm keeping things in shot or not. So first off, what we need are the hammock straps, strings, whatever you want to call it. This is the stuff that that comes with the majority of the DD hammocks. Pretty good stuff, pretty nice and strong, and you know, I can't remember the actual length of each one. I think they're about 6 meters each one. So you basically get 3 meters of rope to tie your hammock up. So we only need one for the minute. Next we want a hammock. So here's my DD Hammocks Frontline hammock. Hopefully this bit of wire will sort out passing the rope through the hammock channel down here. Right, so get your length of webbing. I would think probably about 12 inches will probably be enough. So then I'm going to get it at 12 inches. Cut that bit off. I'll get rid of that bit. The knife away. Okay, so we've got a bit of webbing. One thing I want to do is just melt the end a little bit so it doesn't fray. Okay, so now it's not going to fray. take the wire, pass it down the channel. Just makes it easier than trying to feed it down by hand. Okay, just poke that end out. There we go. So that end's poked out of there now. Now what I'm going to do is push this end through here and give it a bit of a twist, just to try and help keep that bit in, which it should stay in there, and then simply just work it into the channel a little bit, and then hopefully it'll come off. Never goes to plan. So I'll try pushing that back through there and giving it a couple more twists just to make it a bit tighter on there. Right, that should stay on there now. Pass it into the channel. I'll apologise about the boiler noise. It's old and grumpy. Old and grumpy? Is grumpy even a word? It's old and grumpy. So now we're feeding it in. One thing to remember is not to let this end disappear into the hammock. So then you need to start feeding it down and try not to pull it out of the wire. But hopefully I've tied it in there tight enough so that it won't. There we go. Right, now I just need to unwind that a bit so I can get it out. There we go. Right. So now we've got us two bits of two ends coming out of the hammock. Just pull that tight. So next, you need to tie, I think it's called a fisherman's bend or a fisherman's knot, which is simply just an overhand knot on one end. Pull that tight a bit, and then the same again on the other side. So then you've got two overhand knots. Now obviously if I'd have cut the cord a bit longer I could have probably done a double, but then you pull the two knots together so that they're pulling on each other. Okay, hopefully that's focusing in alright so you can see that, and then simply just move it to one side so that you can clip your carabiner onto there. I'll show you what I mean. Get the carabiner out. So then you just clip your carabiner onto there, like that. I don't think it so much matters which way around you do it, whether you do it that way or whether you do it the other way. But then basically what happens when it's, probably that way would be better I would think, but when it's when you're all set up and if it starts raining and water runs down your other line, once it gets here it's only going to go as far as here and it'll drip off. So hopefully as long as this part from your carabiner is under your tarp, then you shouldn't get any water into the body of your hammock. what I've done, or what I'll do with the rest of the hammock webbing, is simply just fold it into two, and then every so often just tie a knot until you've got as many knots as you want. I think the ones I've done on this are roughly about 2 fists apart. And then this section, the loop section here, will fasten around the tree like so. I'll just use my hand as to act as the tree. So it wraps around the tree like that, like a lark's head. And then all you do with your carabiner is clip it on whichever knot you want, and then clip it to your hammock. I've probably done that on the wrong wrist, really. Prior planning and all that. So then your hammock is suspended from the tree, and the rein will only go as far as here on your carabiner, as long as this is under your tarp, so it doesn't get rained on. But I'll do the other end, and then we'll go out and I'll show you how I mean setting it up, so you'll get a better idea of it. So stay with me, and I'll get the other end done, and then we'll take it out and I'll show you how it's set up. Right, so I've brought my hammock out, and I'm going to chuck it up between a couple of trees just to show you how well the Karabiner modification works on the DD Frontline hammock. So I'll get it set up, and then I'll walk you through and show you the modification, etc. So stay with me, guys. I'll just try and bring you a bit closer in so you can see what I'm doing. Wrap it around the tree, feed it through itself, and then pull it tight. And that's it secured. That ain't going nowhere. Because it's looped through itself. And like I said before, you've got the knots to adjust the actual height of your hammock. So I'll get the hammock up, and I'll show you. Okay, so that's the hammock up. You see it didn't take very long at all to do that. In the beginning, it's going to stretch a bit. And then all you need to do is just unclip it and then re-clip it to make it that little bit higher. So I'll unclip this end. Pass it onto another one. And then that brings it tight again. So, in theory, if when the rain runs down the tree when it's raining, it hits your rope and it'll start wicking down your hammock rope and then eventually into the body of the hammock. But because you've got the Karabiner here, which breaks the chain, the rain should drip off the bottom here. So as long as this part is under your tarp and this bit doesn't get wet, your hammock body should be okay. And all it is it's a, I believe you call it a lark's head round the tree, or a girth hitch, I think it is, round the tree, and then attach the hammock by the Karabiner, and then it's the same. It's the same at this end, and hopefully that should stop your hammock getting wet out in the rain. Okay guys, thanks for joining me for this quick one, and I'll catch you later in another one. So take it easy and be safe out there. Thanks very much.